The night was alive with music, flashing lights, and the scent of sweet perfume. Sana swayed to the rhythm, her arms wrapped around her boyfriend, Aeon. The college's night party was wild, but she didn't care about anyone else, only him. "You look stunning tonight," Aeon whispered, his fingers brushing against her cheek. Sana smiled, her heart racing. "And you look handsome as always." Aeon smirked. "Then how about a kiss?" Without hesitation, Sana pulled him closer, pressing her lips to his. The kiss was deep, slow, and filled with desire. Aeon's hand slid down her waist, pulling her tighter against him. His fingers traced the curve of her back as he kissed her again, this time more passionately. Sana let out a soft gasp as Aeon's lips moved to her neck. His warm breath sent shivers down her spine. She clutched his shirt, feeling intoxicated by his touch. "You drive me crazy," he murmured. Sana giggled, her cheeks burning. "I should go home. It's getting late." Aeon groaned, resting his forehead against hers. "Let me drop you." She shook her head. "I'll take the shortcut through the forest. It's faster." His expression darkened. "Are you sure? That road is creepy at night." Sana rolled her eyes playfully. "I'm not a child, Aeon. I can handle it." Aeon sighed, pressing one last kiss against her lips. "Fine, but text me when you get home, okay?" Sana nodded and walked away, unaware that this would be the worst mistake of her life. The night air was cold as Sana walked through the forest path. The trees loomed over her like dark figures, their branches swaying eerily in the wind. The silence was unsettling. No crickets. No rustling leaves. Just emptiness. She pulled out her phone to check the map, ***, no signal. A sinking feeling settled in her chest. Had she taken the wrong turn? She walked faster, her breath quickening. The deeper she went, the more unfamiliar the surroundings became. Then, she saw something up ahead, ***, a village. The houses were old and lifeless. The streets were empty, covered in fog. It looked abandoned. As she turned to leave, a strong hand grabbed her wrist. Before she could scream, she was pulled into the shadows. Her heart pounded as she looked up and saw him, ***, a tall, handsome man with piercing red eyes. "You smell delicious," he whispered. And before she could move, his lips crashed onto hers. Sana struggled, but the man's grip was strong. His red eyes glowed in the darkness, and his cold breath sent chills down her spine. She wanted to scream, to fight back, but something about him made her body weak. "You shouldn't have come here," he whispered. His voice was deep, hypnotic. Who are you?" Sana gasped. The man smirked. "I am Adrian, and you, my dear, smell delicious." Before she could react, his lips crashed onto hers. The kiss was deep, demanding. His cold lips sent a strange sensation through her body, fear mixed with pleasure. She should push him away, but her body betrayed her, melting into his touch. His hands roamed down her back, pulling her closer as his lips moved passionately against hers. She shivered, confused by the strange attraction pulling her toward him. Sana managed to break the kiss, gasping for breath. "Let me go," she pleaded, trying to push him away. Adrian chuckled, his fingers trailing along her cheek. "Why? Didn't you enjoy that?" Her heart pounded. You're a monster." Adrian leaned in again, his lips brushing against her neck. "And yet, your heart races for me." His sharp fangs grazed her skin, sending a wave of fear through her. Was he going to bite her? Sana whimpered, her entire body trembling. "Please, don't." Adrian sighed. "You're lucky. I don't kill beautiful girls." He suddenly lifted her into his arms, carrying her through the village. The houses around them looked cursed, the windows broken, the doors hanging open as if waiting to swallow her whole. "Where are you taking me?" she asked, struggling in his grip. "To my home," he said simply. Sana's blood ran cold. "No, let me go." He smirked. "You belong to me now." Sana kicked and screamed, but it was useless. His strength was inhuman. He carried her effortlessly into a massive, ancient mansion at the end of the village. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old wood and candle smoke. The dimly lit hallways stretched into darkness. Adrian placed her on a luxurious velvet couch. His eyes burned into hers as he leaned down, his face inches from hers. "You will never leave," he whispered, pressing another deep kiss against her trembling lips. Sana's body shuddered. Was she truly his prisoner now? Or was she falling into a trap of passion and danger? Sana's body trembled as Adrian's cold lips moved against hers. His kiss was deep, slow, and intoxicating. Her mind screamed for her to resist, to push him away, but her body melted into his touch. His hands roamed over her waist, pulling her closer. A strange warmth spread through her, even though his body was ice cold. It was as if he was draining her strength while filling her with an unknown desire. She gasped when his lips left hers, trailing down to her neck. His fangs grazed her skin lightly, making her shiver. "And no, please stop," she whispered weakly. Adrian smirked against her skin. "Why? You seem to like it." Sana's breath hitched. Was it the fear making her feel this way? Or was it something else? She finally gathered the strength to push against his chest. "You're controlling me." Adrian sighed and leaned back, staring into her eyes. "Perhaps, but some desires cannot be controlled." Sana's heart pounded. "You're a vampire, aren't you?" He chuckled. "And you're just realizing that now." She shivered, hugging herself. "Why haven't you killed me?" Adrian's expression darkened. "Because I don't want to." Sana looked around the dimly lit mansion. Candles flickered on ancient wooden tables. The air smelled of dust and something metallic, blood. "How long have you lived here?" she asked hesitantly. Adrian's eyes softened for a moment. "Centuries." She swallowed hard. "There's no one else here." "No one alive," he said with a smirk. A shiver ran through her spine. Sana's mind raced. She needed to escape before it was too late. But how? He was too fast, too strong. Adrian watched her carefully. "You're thinking of running, aren't you?" Her lips parted in shock. He suddenly grabbed her wrist, pulling her onto his lap. "You can try," he whispered, his lips brushing against her ear. "But you will always come back to me." Sana struggled, but his arms tightened around her. "You're mine now," he murmured, pressing another deep kiss against her trembling lips. She whimpered against his mouth, torn between fear and something else, something dangerous. Was she truly his prisoner? Or was she slowly falling under his spell? Sana's breath came in shaky gasps as Adrian's lips claimed hers again. His kiss was rough, possessive, and dangerously intoxicating. She should resist, fight back, but her body refused to listen. Her hands pressed against his chest, but instead of pushing him away, she found herself gripping his shirt, pulling him closer. His cold fingers ran down her spine, sending shivers through her. "You're trembling," Adrian whispered against her lips. Sana's eyes fluttered open, her mind in a haze. You're doing something to me," she stammered. Adrian chuckled. "Maybe. Or maybe you simply crave what you fear." His fingers traced her jawline before he leaned in, pressing another slow, deep kiss on her lips. Sana felt herself sinking into him, drowning in the strange, forbidden pleasure of his touch. But she couldn't give in. She had to escape. Summoning all her strength, she pushed against his chest, breaking the kiss. "No, this isn't real," she gasped. Adrian sighed, his red eyes glowing in the candlelight. "You can deny it all you want, but your body tells the truth." Sana shook her head. "I'm not yours. I will never be yours." Adrian smirked. "Then go." Sana froze. "What?" He gestured toward the grand door of the mansion. "Leave, if you can." Her heart pounded. Was this a trick? She took a shaky step forward, then another. The door was right there. Could she actually escape? With a deep breath, she grabbed the handle and pulled, ***, but it wouldn't budge. A low chuckle echoed behind her. "I told you," Adrian whispered, suddenly appearing behind her. His arms wrapped around her waist, pulling her back against his chest. "You can't leave." Sana whimpered as his lips brushed against her neck. "Let me go," she pleaded. His grip tightened. "Tell me, Sana, do you really want that?" Her breath hitched. Every time he touched her, her body reacted in ways she couldn't understand. "Fight it," she told herself. But when Adrian spun her around and captured her lips again, she stopped resisting. She was trapped, not just in his mansion, ***, but in his desire. Sana's body trembled as Adrian's lips claimed hers once more. His cold hands roamed over her waist, pulling her closer. She wanted to fight, to scream, but the pleasure was overwhelming. Her heart pounded as his kisses deepened, sending a dangerous warmth through her body. Then suddenly, he pulled away. Adrian's red eyes glowed as he studied her. "You feel it, don't you?" he whispered. Sana gasped for breath, her mind spinning. "Feel, what?" He smirked. "The bond between us. You are mine now, and you can't escape it." She shook her head, trying to clear the fog in her mind. "No, this isn't real. You're controlling me." Adrian chuckled darkly. "Perhaps. But can you deny how your body reacts to me?" Sana's breath hitched. She could still feel the imprint of his kisses, the way her heart raced every time he touched her. But she wasn't his. She couldn't be. She gathered all her strength and shoved him away. "I will never be yours," she shouted. Adrian's smirk faded. He sighed, as if disappointed. "Very well, my love." In the blink of an eye, he was gone. Sana looked around in shock. The room was empty. The cold air felt heavy, pressing against her chest. Was this a trick? She ran toward the door and this time, it opened. Her heart leapt as she stepped outside. The night air hit her face, and she didn't waste a second. She ran, as fast as she could, through the village, through the dark forest. She didn't stop until she saw the lights of the city. Finally, she was home. She collapsed onto her bed, her body aching, her mind spinning. It was over. She was free. Or so she thought. When she looked in the mirror, her breath caught in her throat. A deep red mark was on her neck, where Adrian had kissed her. Her fingers trembled as she touched it. It burned slightly, as if it was alive. And then, a whisper echoed in her ears. "You can run, Sana, but you will always belong to me." Her blood ran cold. She wasn't free. She would never be free. Because Adrian was inside her now.